Time in the University City. It's time to brawl. This is Three Guys Before the Game, our Backyard Brawl preview Pitt edition. Boys are all assembled. Senator hasn't said a word to us since coming into the studio.
I know. He's
very
been very quiet.
Very unsocial.
Busy,
very unsocial. Busy.
Stuff.
He's into his numbers. We'll have that coming up in a second. He's broken this thing down with an abacus and a sundial. Also joining us on the program, yes, he's back. This might set a consecutive show record for you. The Dean, Hoppy Kercheval, is with us.
Cal Ripken of this podcast.
Excuse me?
You're the Cal Ripken of the podcast. You just show up every podcast.
He's Lou Gehrig.
Never a doubt.
Yeah.
I miss a couple.
Here and there. Now, you do pretty well when the season starts. And if you don't, we toast you. So it all works well.
Out. Yeah, exactly.
All right, we're going to talk Pitt coming up. Textual healing as well. Spreads on stats. And also going to talk about a kill a kill that has taken place.
Excuse me?
A kill that's taken place in Africa. A kill, K-I-L-L, a kill that's taken place in Africa. I'll have that for you in a little bit. Three Guys brought to us by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. By GoMart. Get a GoMart Rewards card. I really just download the app, and you can do everything that you need to do. Go to gomart.com for details. Trying to get a confirmation on this. Someone told me it went in the other day. Bought a 14-gallon Gatorade. I had a small piece of garden hose as a straw. And had two people help out. Had a peanut M&M, weighed 17 pounds, so big it had handles on the sides.
Your drink was so big you had to siphon the drink out.
Now, we will get into this later. I did make a visit this week.
Well, someone told me you were in.
Had a wonderful visit to a Go Mart this week. I'll tell you later.
Awesome. Three Guys brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. By Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way. Tudor's Biscuit World. Just sounds tasty when you say it. Tudor's Biscuit World. Just sounds good.
I know that's surprising. I'm hungry when we can record this.
Your food management is
horrible. Really bad.
You're an organized person. You have your act together in so many ways.
Bad food.
Your food management is often at the bottom of your list, though, for some reason.
Three Guys also brought to us by Conley
Mountaineers right now.
Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. More from Conley CPA coming up when Brad busts down the numbers.
I am always hungry when I come in. You're right on that.
That's why you're probably grouchy.
All right.
Blood sugar's low.
Now, you may get a little testy because you did not eat your lunch before we recorded. Normally, you run upstairs and eat your lunch. I hope you don't turn hangry.
Had a little snack.
A little bit of something?
A little snack.
I didn't know if we're going to have to go to Go-Mart and get you a 17-pound Snickers bar to stop you from being hangry.
I'm good.
Okay,
good.
Cool.
So thank you.
Well, we'll judge that in the next 60 to 70 minutes. We'll see. Let's just watch him 72nd minute. If he gets going a little bit, jumpy or so. What's up, dog? You need a little something?
Usually that's because I have to go to the bathroom. That's usually what happens.
If we had a recording that after we stop our recording, how many times, as soon as we stop the recording, you've said, man, I got to pee like a horse. I mean, if I just had that on a rotator.
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5 times. Yeah. All right. So here it is, man. Fun time. We've already dealt, right, with the excitement of the opener against Penn State. Didn't happen. Took care of the Great Danes. Took them for a walk. Now you've got 2 weeks in a row of significance, right? You've got the Backyard Brawl. And next week, the Big 12 Conference opener happens to be at home against Kansas. So a lot of fun before we end this month of September. Hoppy, how big is Saturday's game?
Tony, I'm going to start with H-O-O, Hoppy's obvious observations. When I was a student here back in the day, when at the start of football season one year, we hung a banner in front of our apartment and said, "Beat Pitt." Mm-hmm. And the first game wasn't Pitt, but that was because the Pitt game was about more, Brad, than just a game. And I was searching for the right word before we went on the air, and I came up with 2 words, profound and existential. And I actually think existential fits more because existential is about the nature of something. And the Pitt game is about the nature of a rivalry, the nature of the spirit of what it means to the spirit of competition. It is all wrapped up in the WVU Pitt game, which is more than other games. Now, other games have more significance in terms of how you do in the conference, but other games are games. This is about more than just a game and has greater meaning. And this is going to be the 107th time they've played. And I just think it is very sad that they don't play every year. I mean, in college football, there are rivalries that play every year. And this is a game that should be played every year. And it is tragic that the realignment of conferences has left us with this game occasionally instead of every year.
The risk of repeating myself that I've said every time for the last 3 years now, this is college football. To back up what you're saying, this is college football. I said to the guys last night, Hoppy, we were leaving Sportsline. Mm-hmm. It just feels different. Like you're just amped up differently for this one than you are all others. And there are other big games. And Penn State was awesome. And there's going to be some great Big 12 games coming in. And the atmosphere is going to be this one is different. Some of it's proximity. Mm-hmm. Some of it's the 107 years that you've played it. It's hard to replace time, right? This is college football. It's sold out again. Big surprise. So it would make a lot.
Did they announce it as a sellout?
Yeah, they did today. It would make a lot of sense with all of those factors. And I would say the Pitt folks feel exactly the same as we do, which makes a lot of sense that the game's not played every year then. Why would you want to have these on the schedule? Why would you want to play this every single year? It's a shame they're not still in the same conference so that you don't have to use one of your non-conference games on it. But this game feels different because it is different. It is different.
When we watch games, and I want to be clear about this too, because I don't hate Pitt. I don't buy into that. And primarily it's because I respect the rivalry, number one. Number two, I've seen a lot of great Pitt-West Virginia games, wins, losses. Number three is, Tony, whenever we've had contact with the Pitt folks, they've been fantastic.
E.J. Borghetti, one of the all-time greats. Great. He's terrific.
So I have none of that acrimony, okay? However, when I'm watching games and I'm just flicking, and Brad, the Pitt game comes on, I feel different watching Pitt than I do any other team, right?
Well, I'll tell you what, you should have come up to some of those basketball games when Tony and I sat right there. You might change your opinion.
Well, and
their administration's always been wonderful. You get a little different feeling sitting in there in old Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. They're right behind you screaming things at you when they're taking. Peterson Event Center, you're in there making shots on them. Kevin Pittsnoggle hitting a hook shot from nearly 3-point range. They're not so friendly to you, Hoppy. They're not so friendly.
Well, okay, fair enough. I haven't been to the Fieldhouse. What's it called?
Now it's Peterson
Center for a long time. Yeah. And you know what's interesting, too, is that Pat Narduzzi has tried different things about this game. He's tried not to say anything about the rivalry. He's tried to say, don't talk to the media. And this year he's embraced it. Like, it's the Backyard Brawl. And you know what? He needs this game. I mean, West Virginia wants it. He needs it. After a bad year last year, and it was a big story in the Pittsburgh paper, like, Narduzzi, it's been a while since they won 11 games with an NFL quarterback, and they don't beat the rivals very often. A lot at stake in this game.
Both coaches, right? I mean, one of the coaches on Saturday night's going to go to bed and sleep like a baby, and the other one's going to go to bed and sleep like a baby and get up every 2 hours and cry.
Be sick to their stomach.
Yeah, be nauseous. Yeah.
This was a fun game to open the season with a couple years ago, similar to the atmosphere around Penn State this year. It was great. It's really interesting that it comes here in Game 3 because you talk about both teams trying to figure out exactly who they are. I think this is one of the fun parts of analyzing a game or handicapping a game or trying to evaluate it is you're making a lot of assumptions here. And you're making a lot of assumptions, and I'll make some assumptions off some numbers that I don't know how good the numbers are. I don't know how mature. They're definitely not mature numbers, right? How often do I say that to you guys?
Not yet.
You got to wait till you get a couple more weeks in, but we're going to look at some of these numbers and strength of schedule. How often do I talk about that this time of year? Does it matter? Right?
Well, we'll find
out.
It
might. You're going to find out. You're going to find out. Does West Virginia look a little bit better than maybe what the perception is naturally and among some in this fan base because it played the most difficult of the opponents in this matchup in a Penn State team? We'll have to see.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the fun of this is uncovering what's next. Now, it's more fun when your team wins, but that's part of the fun is uncovering what your team looks like. Pitt comes in really bouncy. I'm not sure they thought they'd be 2-0 at this point. They didn't know what they had on either side of the ball, at quarterback or a defense that's completely rebuilt. So they come in bouncy. Biggest comeback in 50 years for them. They're ready to go. West Virginia feels good after dominating Pitt last year. So this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
I will not run away from let's give them a month before we say exactly who they are, but you will know a tremendous amount after Saturday's game is over as to exactly what you will be this coming season. If you have significant problems in a particular area again this week, i.e. for West Virginia pass defense, then it's going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lingering problem. It'll be a canker sore that doesn't go away. So you'll know that. However, if it gets mended and it's at least solid on Saturday, then you'll go, okay, got a chance to be solid. But if it again proves to be a major weakness, then it's probably going to be. Here's why. Because all week long, what have the coaches said? This is all correctable. Hoppy, you're a linebacker. You're supposed to drop down 12 yards, sit in your hole on the hash. But you were dropping down 6 last week. You were sniffing, trying to get a pick. Weren't doing what you were told to do. Now, I'm telling you this week, you're going to drop 12. And you're going to stay right there in that hash mark, and you're going to cover your zone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you don't do it again, then it's going to become a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll learn. You'll know.
That's what's been encouraging is they're not saying or not even implying that guys can't make plays. It's just that they're not doing what they need to be doing in all instances. Correct? They say it's correctable, not like, wow, we don't know who's going to play there. We don't have a guy for that position.
Yeah, and you've got some inexperience isn't the correct right term because you've got guys that have played a lot of football, but some inexperience here. Both your corners, Garnes and Hollis, have not played here. Those linebackers you just mentioned, Trey Lathan got in, 4 games last year before he was injured. Josiah Trotter's in his freshman year. Reed Carrico has not played here before. So you've got a lot of new pieces that are trying to figure out a new system as well as just play football out there. So that's part of the challenge and why you would expect that group in particular to continue to grow and get better. But guys, I don't want to turn the page too far ahead, but strap in, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, strap in after Pitt here. You're going on a run of Kansas, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, Kansas State, Arizona, 4 of those teams are ranked. The one that's not is Kansas. They just fell out because they lost last week. Quarterbacks, Jalen Daniels coming. Bowman in his 19th season.
Yes,
20th.
He's fully invested in the pension coming up here after the West Virginia game.
He's got a 401k.
Yeah,
he's
I think
cash
fully vested. Iowa State, Rocco Beck, freshman All-American last year. Kansas State, Avery Johnson, guy that everybody raves about. And Arizona, Noah Fafita. And if your pass defense isn't ready by then, you're getting the number 1 receiver in the country in Ted McMillan. So buckle up, boys. We got 6 straight weeks of big ones coming.
Big boy football.
Yes.
Big boy football, Hoppy. Are you ready?
It doesn't matter if I'm ready.
Oh. You're ready, though.
The young men in the gold and blue need to be ready.
I'm ready. Let's go. I'd like to play this thing now.
Wow.
I'm jacked.
It's going to be a spectacular weekend, Friday, Saturday up in Pittsburgh. It starts off with a West Virginia connection. Our very own Charles Wesley Godwin, the official music artist of Three Guys Before the Game, is going to be holding a concert the night before right there in the Berg. And as you might imagine, there may be a couple, 2-3 Mountaineer fans that have already committed that they will be there. It's going to be a great time.
It's fortunate that Charles Wesley's available because he had been on tour. He's on a little bit of a downtime now.
Yes.
Just a little bit. I talked
Correct.
to him at the last Connection 304 event, and he was just happy to be off the road, enjoyed the road, but happy to be off the road, but he's going to do that event on Friday.
That is Stage AE in Pittsburgh. Stage AE in Pittsburgh. That is coming up as we record on Thursday. That is Friday evening. Check it out. Stage AE. Should be pretty.
Where's that?
It's there, right there in Pittsburgh. It's like right there.
I mean,
Like right
by
in
the
mix-
stadium?
Right there, it's right there in the mixed of things.
Isn't it between the two stadiums?
North Shore Drive, yeah.
Yeah.
400 North Shore Drive.
So, I mean, it's not a temporary, it's a...
No. That's a venue. That's a venue.
Oh, it is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He may have played there before. We probably did a bad job not getting him in studio, right, today?
Probably should have.
Probably should have had you.
Probably should have.
Probably should have.
He was out there busy last week doing all that barbecue with Rev Kev.
He was there.
He
wife,
pulled up at
kids.
4:40. You know this is true. He pulled up 4:45 in the morning. Kevin got out there at 4:30 over at the church where they smoke it. He pulled up 4:45, and they said like he just got to work, like literally worked. He didn't just like stand around and go, "Hey, what are you guys doing? Is that wood? Hey, is that fire? Is that no?" He literally said like he leveled everything off and then he was working. Of course, he was a working guy.
Terrific.
Rev Kev he has been so busy but I don't think he's showered in 3 weeks.
I don't know why you got to go there.
I think that
I don't know if that's true.
He's got good hygiene. I mean, the guy's producing meat products. I wouldn't say that he's dirty.
He's been busy. Every time I see him, he's like,
"Hey, Kevin,
Kevin,
that was Kirchhoff that said, Brad and I feel very good about your hygiene."
Like, I've been up since 3.
Oh, yeah, I know. He gets up early. Hey, business owners, you know what Rev Kev uses when he needs to call from one barbecue smoker to the next?
What's that, Tony?
Phone systems from Comax Business Systems. They happen to be the premier business systems company in the state of West Virginia, based in Charleston. But, hey, they're in all 55 counties. Their stuff is from Weirton to Welch, Martinsburg to Matewan, and all points in between. And right now, great opportunity if you're a business owner for a new phone system. Is that what you're looking into? They'll come in and give you a free estimate. You can buy it. You can lease it. You can rent it. You can just say, hey, I'll pay you a little bit later. Whatever you want to do. From one digital line to 1,000 phone lines, they can take care of all your phone service needs. Comax's digital phone systems, competitively priced and efficient, and it helps your company save money. Call today or email them, visit them for a free price quote. I have confirmed that a armada of Lou Wendell Marine boats will be taking the Mountaineers up the Mon River. Just a little concerned back over here at the lock, the Morgantown lock.
Oh, really?
Behind Marriott, back there, it levels because those guys are heavy. So you gotta structure that thing. You have to spread your offensive linemen and your defensive linemen around. But they're gonna boat on Lou Wendell pontoons all the way up to Pittsburgh, straight up the Mon River. One of the few rivers, right, Hoppy, as you know, that flows north.
The Nile.
If you need to transport a team or just your family, it's Lou Wendell Marine Sales and Service. They've been doing it for nearly 50 years. Located in St. Albans, visit them at LouWendellMarineSales.com. That's LouWendellMarineSales.com. And if you're not into the pontoon boats, of which they sell American-made Avalon pontoons, they've got their Gator Tough John series, the G3 Johns, just tremendous. Fishing, whatever you want to do, they are, in a word, terrific. Visit Lou Wendell Marine Sales.
Weren't we supposed to get somebody on from who made the boats and had a West Virginia connection? Do I have that right?
Yeah, a lady came to me. Remember I told you guys. Was that? Am I just like dreaming?
No, you said it. Supposed to get on was a little strong by Kirchhoff. I don't know that we were supposed to get
she knows
on.
the Avalon people that created the Avalon boats in Michigan many years ago. Oh, I know who it was. You know who it was? I just remembered who it was. Brad? It was Joe Staffolino's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you know that?
Yeah, because you said it.
Okay, I didn't know that I ID'd her.
I think.
You talked with Joe Hoppy. He was at the food court. You don't know.
I tell you what happens. I forget what we say on the podcast and not on the podcast.
I totally agree.
Did we say that? Was I
saying that?
Did I say that out loud?
Exactly.
Did I just think that?
Do a few of these.
Fair point.
All right. We're gonna figure some things out. We're gonna do it right now.
I want this. I'm anxious for this.
Is this a good one?
I bet it is.
There's a lot.
Let's do it.
Settle in if you're listening.
So I check the numbers.
Settle in. Got it.
We'll just go right to the numbers. Here comes a heater.
Let's jump into the analytics portion of the show.
Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2.
This is Spreads on Stats, brought to us by the official accountancy firm of Three Guys Before the Game. They provide value beyond numbers, complete service public accounting and consulting. Getting ready for their 40th anniversary in 2025, and they have clients throughout our state and beyond. Remove that stress and time associated with hiring a qualified accounting staff and dealing with all that turnover. You can outsource your accounting, even your CFO services, with Conley CPA Group. Did he show up at the food court, Mike? Was he there? Did you see him?
Mike?
Yes, Penn State week.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
Penn
there.
State.
Yeah.
I didn't see him. I wasn't there much. Penn State week. Wasn't there much. All right, man. How you feeling? Oh, glasses.
Here we go. Here we
Got a
go.
lot of questions.
Huh?
I've got questions.
Sure he does.
You got questions? We got answers.
I've got questions. So I think that's still the stage you're at. It is hard to give declarative statements about either of these two teams and what they bring. So let's go through some things that are going to be important. You could call them keys if you want. Things that are going to be important and some numbers within those keys and how they stack up. And we can debate. This is an open forum here, of course.
Okay.
So you're saying we can interrupt?
Please do. First and foremost, now, Hoppy, you know how I do this. If you really wanted to get into it, we could come up with 10 keys to the game, right? So I've tried to niche it down. This isn't every key. These are 3 that I think are pretty important, though. Here we go. Number 1, can West Virginia not only handle but exploit Pitt's pressure and aggressive defense?
Elaborate.
What's Pitt want to do on defense every year under Narduzzi? What do they do?
In football terminology,
What do
they
do?
want to pin their ears back. That's what they like to say.
Do they come in? They want to come and get you?
They do.
Pitt blitzed 60% of the snaps versus Cincinnati.
Holy cow.
What do those defensive backs do from Pitt?
They turn.
Step on your shoes.
What are they like?
They're like hyenas. They just nip at you. They nip at you.
You kind of think that for all defensive backs.
Yes,
So that's
I
really
do.
not just Pitt. I just want you to say hyenas and do that. That makes me giggle. All right, so first of all, let's talk about handling the pressure and Pitt's pressure. Hoppy,
Yes.
of the top 219 pass rushers in a category called PRP from PFF. PRP from Pro Football Focus. Here's what that formula is. It combines sacks, hits, and hurries relative to how many times that player rushes the passer. Okay?
All right.
So the top 219 individuals in college football, there's 5 different Pitt players that are in that group. That's a lot for one team.
gosh,
Now, again,
yeah.
small sample sizes here on both pass rush opportunities and total pressures, but the point of that is, Hop, they're coming with a bunch of different people.
Right.
It isn't just one guy you have to focus on. Or Penn State, you worried specifically about the 2 ends, of which West Virginia did a really good job. Pitt's going to bring a lot of different guys at you. Watch in particular, this is no surprise, the right side of West Virginia's offensive line. So Yates, Hubbard, Nick Malone, that have held up very well so far. Reason we say that, a lot of Pitt's pressure has come from the left side. Kyle Lewis, 5th nationally in pressures from the left side. He's also 3rd nationally in pressures from the right side, too. But Wyatt Milam's over there. You kind of have a proven quantity.
All right.
Right side. So can West Virginia's right side continue to do what it's done in the first 2 games? Brandon George from Pitt is also up there, 5th nationally in pressures from the left side going against West Virginia's right side. So first and foremost, can West Virginia handle the pressure, Hop? Can they match it up? Can Traylon Davis help? Do you need to chip with a running back? They're going to bring guys. So handling it is number 1. Now, you would think West Virginia would be a difficult or a more difficult matchup for Pitt's aggression in this game because why?
Garrett Green.
Yeah, they don't just sit and drop back on passes very often. This is different than a quarterback that's just going to drop back. So you're going to get a lot of motion and shifts that also give the defense a lot to think about. And you have Garrett, an elite running quarterback. If you're going to bring heat and don't get home and your corners are on that island pressed up and they're chasing receivers doing verts, going deep on you, there is a lot of room on the edges there. So Garrett scampering outside, pitch to a Jaheim White on the outside, a screen pass to Jaheim White or CJ and letting them rumble. So Pitt's going to want to come. They better make sure they get there because I think this is an offense that can take advantage of it if you don't get there.
What are you
Why are you
talking
laughing?
about?
Well, you just did a variation of you'll walk over, but you'll limp back. But it's not. I was just thinking in my head. I was like, you run upfield, but you'll be running back.
You don't bring that pressure. You better get home.
Well, and Brad, I think that's an excellent point, and it gets to the fact that you can't do everything, right? So if you're going to bring pressure, you're going to be vulnerable some places you just pointed out.
So that's incumbent upon not only the blockers handling it, but I think you go further. This isn't a West Virginia offense that's just going to say, okay, we hope to kind of hold you out of here. They're going to launch at you too, right? They're going to say, okay, come on with it. Here we go. And we're coming right at a Pitt defense that currently is 69th nationally in opponent plays of 10 yards or more. You're going against a West Virginia offense that's 25th in the country in plays of 10 yards or more. So this is a big play offense in West Virginia that wants to attack you. So those receivers, can you get out and beat those guys one-on-one? Because if you do, you're going to have some opportunities. They're going to drop those safeties down to try and protect against the run. You hit them deep.
Okay, stop there.
Okay?
We need to save that little clip right there. I think that's the essence of the game.
Do you?
Yeah, because they've now played 8 quarters, Pitt has, and they've shown a propensity to give up big plays, right? They're 69th nationally. West Virginia's played 2 against a believed to be good Penn State defense, and they had big plays in that game as well. So that's a significant piece. So let's count your 10-plus yard plays after it's over, and there's a good chance West Virginia will do well in that category.
That's why it's category number 1 or key number 1 in this, because I think this isn't just hold your own, hope we can hold them out. This is strike when they try and strike you. Which of those 2 units win out? Do Pitt's defensive backs lock up West Virginia's receivers and they get pressure, or does West Virginia break through and big play them all day and make them have to be less aggressive? Right. I think this is a massively important matchup going on.
And if you do that, then that opens the door for C.J. Donaldson to just run between the tackles and just start running people down and running people over. That's a significant part.
That leads in, we didn't discuss this, that leads into key number 2.
Here we go.
Key number 2. Can West Virginia handle Pitt's tempo? And same as the first key, not only handle it, turn it to a positive in your favor. So they're going to go fast. The new offensive coordinator, Cade Bell's come in from Western Carolina, and they've done a complete 180 from what they did with this Pitt offense and what we've seen the last 2 years when they wanted to huddle, go slow, hand it off, and not go fast at all. This is the exact opposite of that. In fact, Pitt ranks 3rd nationally in plays per minute. They're averaging a snap every 12 to 15 seconds. So they're going to want to go. They're going to want to catch you out of position. They're going to want to catch you in bad spots, which is fine. And West Virginia's going to have to figure that out. And you mentioned earlier, West Virginia's inability to get to its spots where it needed to be, well, that becomes even harder against tempo offense, and they're going fast. There's not as much time to adjust. You got to play your base defense, as Jordan Leslie talked about this week, and you've got to go make plays. So that's the challenge for West Virginia. Get lined up and still be able to make plays. Now here's the flip side. Now look out, Pitt. You better walk over. You better make sure you get first downs.
Yes.
We've been on the other side of this, guys. If you want to go fast, that's all fine and dandy, and it can give defenses a lot of problems. And if it's cooking, that defense is gassed and you're moving. But I'm going to tell you what, you start running into some 3-and-outs or some stops on 3rd down or 4th down, and you're not moving those chains, and you got to kick that back to West Virginia, and now West Virginia can have success running it on you, and they're just going to feed CJ and keep pounding you and keep the ball, and you don't get it back. That's a potential big part of this game. Does their tempo hurt West Virginia, or does it ultimately hurt Pitt because West Virginia gets stops and gets off the field?
And whether this happens to Saturday or later this season, at some moment when that does happen to them, Pat Narduzzi will have a lot of internal strife, because that's not the way he likes to play the game of football. He likes to play the way that they were using it in the past. Huddle, slow, run, limit the opportunity for my defense to be out on the field. I want to make it a short game, right? So at some point, when they start not having success and ringing up first downs, he's going to go, what are we doing? You just know it. It's not a matter. I mean, it's coming. And hopefully it comes Saturday, but at some point he's going to go, I'm uncomfortable. You know how you go out like in certain places, Hoppy, and you get uncomfortable? You know, I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable here.
No, I'm comfortable wherever I go.
I'm not comfortable. That's what he's going to have some moments on the sideline.
I know what you mean.
That he's going to go like, what am I doing here? Why did I do this? It's going to drive him nuts.
Yeah. Now, the flip side is it'll drive West Virginia nuts if they're not getting lined up and they're not in coverage, and Pitt just keeps running down, finding open spots, and they're just playing pitch and catch and marching down the field.
Yes.
I think that's why this to me is going to be so much fun, is I think there's some real differences in stylistic approach that are much like Pitt's defense wants to be big risk, big reward. I think there's some things that turn into risk reward just philosophically in this game.
Absolutely.
All right, so there's your first 2 questions, comments, comments.
I think you're off to a whale of a start.
Yeah, I think you're nailing it. Give us the 3rd.
All right, here's a 3rd one to watch. Obvious one. We've all talked about it. Everybody's talked about it. Will West Virginia's pass coverage be better in this game? West Virginia's Pro Football Focus coverage grade right now is 131st nationally out of 134 teams.
I'm sorry, excuse me?
That's probably not good.
131 out of 134. Not ideally where you'd like to be.
Well, I think what you could say is it's going to get better because it can't get much worse.
Well,
So Neil and Jordan Leslie both talked this week. You alluded to it earlier about they think it's some easily fixable things they can do to make this better instantly. Well, that better start now because Pitt's going to want to chuck it. And here's two things to watch here. Okay, so these are within that little, is your coverage better? Now two offshoots of that. Number one, two things to watch when it comes to pass coverage. Can West Virginia get pressure on Eli Holstein, quarterback for Pitt? He was a really highly touted prospect coming out of high school, top 10 when he chose to go to Alabama. He's making only his third start here. He really struggled first half against Cincinnati. Really struggled for 3 quarters, quite frankly, against Cincinnati, and then absolutely went bonkers in the fourth. Why are you laughing?
It's just become part of the fabric.
Cincinnati. So here's what you watch on the Pitt offensive line. They have a right tackle that's 23rd nationally in most pressures allowed. He had a pass grade in true pass sets so far that is 19.5 is a grade on a scale of 0 to 100. Last year against Cincinnati, a 5.7 grade in true pass sets, a 5. So can you get some pressure on the right side with them? They have another tackle that's 45th nationally in pressures allowed. Both played against West Virginia last year. They have a third offensive lineman that's 94th in pressures allowed. So teams have been able to get some pressure on Pitt's offensive line here. Can you do that again? Can you get there? Sean Martin had 4 last year against Pitt. Lathan had 2. Tyron Bradley had a sack last year, 1 of 2 against Pitt. So that was a group, if you remember last year's game, that Pitt offense really, really struggled against West Virginia's defense. It just couldn't do a thing. West Virginia was heating Jerkovic up all night. This is a totally different offense than what you saw in here last year. Can you get to Holstein? If you can get some pressure, that helps the back end, as we know. Make him uncomfortable. Here's the other area to watch if you get some pressure on him. Holstein leads the country in turnover-worthy plays.
Excuse me?
Turnover-worthy plays. Another Pro Football Focus stat, and it's defined as this: a pass that has a high percentage chance to be intercepted or a poor job of taking care of the ball and fumbling. He has 7 of those through 2 games, but only has 2 interceptions in that time.
So he's been running through the raindrops.
He's due.
Yeah.
He's due there for some picks. Can you get those Saturday? And so I think that's an important key to watch for somebody that has been flirting with danger and a West Virginia team that is not creating turnovers.
You calling for a 3-pick day?
I don't know. Three's a lot.
2.5?
It'd be nice if you could get 2.
You're going to be in Pittsburgh. Is Beanie available?
Yeah, really. Be nice if you could find a couple of these.
Yeah.
So if he keeps putting those passes in positions to pick them off, West Virginia must take advantage of that and catch the football and get a couple of turnovers and flip that around. So maybe, you know how we like to talk regression, positive and negative regression? Maybe West Virginia's due to win a turnover battle because so far that has not been good. And maybe Holstein is due to give up a couple more of those passes that maybe should have been turnovers that weren't. Maybe that's due to turn into some turnovers. So that's another one of those matchups to watch. If he turns it over a couple times, you feel great. If he's able to sit back there and find guys in his own defense and West Virginia can't get its coverage right and
Shame
it can't
on
get
you.
home, then he's just going to sit there and he can pick you apart. He has the ability to do that, as he did to Cincinnati in the fourth quarter when he was 10 of 11. So, talented kid, he's just inexperienced. Can you make the inexperience work against him rather than have the talent show forth and give you a real problem?
Brad, of your keys, I think the biggest key goes back to those defensive backs. Because even if Pitt brings pressure, you still have some confidence in an offense. The offensive line, there's running backs and Garrett Green. So I think you have confidence there. You do not have confidence right now in those defensive backs based on that statistic that you just gave. And they're going to throw it around. So, and the coaches, as you said, says this is correctable. But if it isn't corrected,
you're going to have to win 50-48 if it's not corrected. Plain and simple.
Yeah, remember, though, I know the defensive backs are catching a lot of heat right now, and Neil and Jordan have both talked about that area's got to be better. But you mentioned linebackers have to cover, too. This is a team coverage grade here. This is all the guys have to be involved in coverage. And again, it goes back to pressure a little bit. If Sean Martin's a dude and an NFL guy and can abuse one of their guys up front and now they have to adjust, or TJ Jackson, who's been very good with his pressures.
Going to start this week.
If those two guys are problems up front, now you can drop some more in coverage. You don't have to blitz. You don't have to bring extra rushers. Now you've got some help in the coverage game. So I think I get what you're saying, and the defensive backs are super important, but I think the pressure can play a huge role in this. If we come in here Sunday and there's not a lot of pressures and that defensive line didn't get home with just those 3 or 4 guys rushing, I think we're going to say that was one of the issues. I think it's clear that's got to be a part of this game plan that comes through. And some of that's, I shouldn't say game plan, that's guys that have to just say, I'm beating you. Sean Martin, you're an NFL guy. Go beat the guy across from you. TJ Jackson, keep doing what you're doing. And we saw Martin do that last week. I know he's better than the guys that he's playing against from Albany. He's going now against Pitt. Go get him. Go at him.
This is not calculus level analytics like you provide, but quite simply, if you want to go down to a base level of this, Garrett Green has to outplay Eli Holstein, i.e., Garrett is seasoned, Garrett is experienced, Garrett's been in big games. Eli Holstein has not. This is going to be his 3rd career start. And while he is talented, right, he also is very young. Now, he's going to be a really good player for him. Like, I watched that game, I watched the tape several times. He is elusive for his size. He's not going to run around you and by you like Garrett does, but he's got some great athleticism. Just his hip movement gets away from guys, able to wiggle away from guys. So if you're going to get a kill shot on him, and that's in quotation marks, you have better get your job done because he's thick and you got to bring him to the ground. And Cincinnati had no success in crunching him and getting him down to the turf. But that's really what this game comes down to.
But they had success early bothering him.
Yes, they did.
Like you can see what happens when you bother him.
Well, it was their 3 high safeties, right? There was the 3 high safeties that were playing. It confused him. They went back. They watched the tape. They got the Surface Pros there. They're looking at it and say, okay, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. And he got a heck of a lot better as the game went on. There's no question about that. But my point is this. Garrett has to outplay him. When we're walking out of the stadium on Saturday evening, chances are that when you look at the numbers, they're going to say, which team won? Okay, which quarter? Let me see the numbers. Yeah, that's why they won. You got to play.
Well, I put that key for the next 6 games and probably the rest of the season. Garrett Green's your most dynamic offensive player, and he's got the ball in his hands the whole time. Mm-hmm. He's the usage rate guy that is through the roof, running and passing. He's got to be electric and very good. And we'll say that every week. If you're going to go, you're going to go on the back of your quarterback in this league, and that's especially true of 6. Now, you need White to hit some plays. You need Donaldson to hit some plays. That defense has to get better, but Garrett Green has to be a problem. He has to cause a lot of issues for that defense, both with his arm and with his legs.
Correct. Yeah. You got anything else?
That's it.
That was really good.
That was very good.
Really nice.
Excellent.
There's a lot of stuff in this one.
Oh, yeah, it was thick. Building up as time goes on. Spreads on Stats brought to us by Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. Got some pretty wild textual healings coming up just a bit. But a reminder here first, if you're driving from West Virginia to the Berg for the game on Saturday, chances are you'll pass by, if you're in West Virginia, Tudor's Biscuit World. Did you know that Tudor's Biscuit World is expanding, getting bigger?
Heard that.
Searching for passionate entrepreneurs here in our state. Over 40 years of success, 74 locations, fast, casual chain, specializes in made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuits and homemade breakfast items. Adored by thousands of daily customers across 4 states. If you're interested, contact Tudor's Biscuit World. You could have one of those bad boys if you're watching. Is that just classic right there? That is just a Tudor's Biscuit World location. So check it out, Tudor's Biscuit World. There have been various challenges. Your microphone.
Chicken wraps were good too. I'd have
Yes, they
one of
were.
those.
Yeah.
A couple people. I asked the young lady that was here from Tudor's last week about eating 2 of those Mountaineers.
Yeah.
Could we be able to do it?
Yeah.
She gave me a really professional answer. She said it would, yes and no. What do you mean? It would be determined by biscuit thickness.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she said.
Mm-hmm.
She said, now, you go like with a super duper thick biscuit, you might have an issue. She said, more of a genteel width on that biscuit. Well, there it is. I mean, right there. That's the one that won, beat every biscuit in the world in that competition, and was named the South's best biscuit by that magazine chain.
Lined up, beat them. Thank you for baking. Why don't you just have
That
one?
was Garden and Gun magazine.
And enjoy it. Why don't you just have one and enjoy it? What's this whole two thing? I know you guys are big eaters, especially you, Tony. Just have one and enjoy it.
Well, Brad's the one that brought up that I could eat two. I didn't start it. He started it.
Well, it's not a competition. Just enjoy the biscuit. Lord.
Might enjoy it with two. Don't tell me how I'd enjoy my biscuit. What if I want two?
Do you want two?
Well, I might.
That guy wants two. Let the guy eat,
two
man.
right now.
You would be me. Okay, I tell you what. You're going to eat two because of your poor food management, and you're going to go, oh my gosh.
I realize they're big. I get it.
Time for Textual Healing, brought to us
He'd
by...
never been with us at Carmine's in New York City.
Brought to us by episode800.com. Yes, it is a road game, but I've got information to share for y'all.
Okay.
If you go to our site, obviously you can get everything that we our merch. You can get it all there. But here, the unbelievable success with the first week of the beer, Connection 304 from Parkersburg Brewing, it exploded, and the next round, so to speak, is out.
Oh, it is?
Yes, Connection 304 will be available this weekend at various locations, including the Varsity Club here in Morgantown, the Parkersburg Tap Room. And over the next 48 hours, we invite you to just stay with us on social media. We'll let you know what's going on. Second production hits Morgantown Friday morning. Great distributor, Joe's Globe, distributing it here, distributing in this area, North Central. And
be at the Kroger?
well, not yet. We strive to make, here's the note from Homeless Dave.
Okay.
We are striving to make it available in all 55 counties. And we ask you, our listeners, to send us recommendations on restaurants or pubs in our state. You can text us or you can send an email to info@episode800.com. Info@episode800.com. We want this beer.
So if you want to get the beer,
we want the beer to be for everyone in our state.
So if you want the beer in your neighborhood or
Yes.
your area, what is it again? Where do you email to Homeless Dave? I mean, it's not his home. Because
info@episode800.com.
Okay.
Homeless Dave was in L.A. this week. Almost went to the Mountaineers soccer game. He was in L.A. They were playing in L.A. against Loyola Marymount, but he sent me a picture from his hotel. There's a fire.
Excuse me?
They had
Yeah,
there was brush fires all
Oh,
around.
yeah,
He could see it all around his hotel.
Yeah.
So it was hot there, and it certainly didn't help as far as the air quality goes.
Hey, don't forget the update there that was sent.
Varsity Club.
Thank you.
This week. Varsity Club, Flower and Feed here this week, and also Mountain State by the waterfront. By the waterfront. Mountain State by the waterfront. It'll be on tap at tomorrow evening for the weekend and for the Pitt game as well. So at Varsity Club, Flower and Feed, and Mountain State near the waterfront.
That's good because I'm running low. I have one can left.
Restocking.
Time now for
And will be plenty available for the Kansas game.
vats of it. Texter, this is pretty. As I said, we got good text today.
Mm-hmm.
James Earl Jones is the most famous person I've ever met. This is my story. In 1985, the movie Matewan was filmed in southern West Virginia. I submitted a photo and a letter to the casting company and was chosen as an extra. I spent one day on the set while filming at Grandview State Park. James Earl Jones was on the set that day and spent most of his time in a tent. Now, 8-year-old me, almost 9, was a huge Star Wars fan, and I knew who was the voice of Darth Vader. I wanted to meet Mr. Jones so bad, but I was too scared and timid to approach. I missed an opportunity. Now, fast forward to the fall of 1998, 13 years later. I'm in my first year as the WVU Mountaineer mascot. At the time, Mr. Jones was the spokesperson for Bell Atlantic. The athletic department arranged for Mr. Jones to MC a halftime event at the football game.
Thanks to John Golden.
Sure. As you could imagine, this was a big production. I mean, it was James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader, among other great roles.
Luke, I'm your father.
Sure. The WVU band, cheerleaders, and I had to participate in a rehearsal at the stadium early on the morning of the game. We were all excited. This was right before the prequel trilogy came out, so the hype for Star Wars was growing. In addition, all of us were in Generation X that grew up with Star Wars. A lot of people brought memorabilia in hopes that Mr. Jones would sign it. Unfortunately, we were quickly advised he would not sign anything. Since I was the Mountaineer mascot, I got to share the stage with him. During rehearsal, I had a few minutes to chat. I told him I was in a movie with him when I was 8. He said, "Oh, yes, mate one." Shock, amazement. All I could think was, he remembered me. Of course, with time, I deduced that he only filmed one movie in West Virginia. Of course, he knew it was Mate One.
Yeah.
He was very nice and gracious. If the story ended there, though, it would have been enough, but it did not. Fast forward, there he is, halftime. We make our way to the stage, middle of the field, probably over 50,000 there. Mr. Jones begins his presentation, and he introduces me, the Mountaineer. He then proceeds to tell thousands of people that he and I starred in Mate One together.
That's awesome.
In reality, I'm in the background of one scene, and I'm blurred at that. But this was absolutely, without a doubt, the coolest thing that has or ever will happen to me. James Earl Jones said I started a movie with him. Thank you, James Earl Jones, for all wonderful memories you gave me and billions of others from Star Wars, Field of Dreams, and Sandlot. You will always be remembered with much love and admiration. I will tell everyone that we were co-stars in Mate One. It is true because he said so, and I say he will always be a Mountaineer to me. I hope the sky is blue, mountains green, and the water is clear. Rest in peace, Mr. Jones, who passed away earlier this week.
Tony, that's Brandon Flower, former Mountaineer.
Yeah.
Son Nate on the football team.
Yeah, son's Nate's a kick. Got a kick in the other day.
Terrence Mann in Field of Dreams, my favorite of his roles.
Well done. He had a remarkable life. Started, I think he was born in Louisiana and was kind of semi-abandoned by his parents. And it had a traumatic effect on him. He ended up, I think, in the north somewhere, and he developed a stammer, a very bad stammer. And because of that, didn't talk at all. In high school, he had a teacher that took an interest in him, and he got involved in theater, and he was able to manage his stammer.
Wow.
And he went on, he was in hundreds of plays and movies and TV shows. I mean, not just like a dozen plays. I mean, hundreds. He worked, at one time he was in like 3 plays in 1 year or something. A remarkable career. Interviewed him one time. And
Probably when he came here.
Yeah,
Probably,
I guess
right?
it was.
Yeah.
I guess it was. But just an incredible career, an incredible actor. Great White Hope. You ever see that? One of the great movies of all time. Where he was portrayed the movie Jack Johnson, the black boxer. Yeah. So.
You've interviewed some people. I'm thinking about you. You got James Earl Jones.
Mm-hmm.
You got Anthony Bourdain shortly before he passed away.
Mm-hmm. Lauren Bacall.
You did Lauren Bacall. I did not know that. Did not know that, Hoppy.
It was one of those. It was the year of Bush Gore in 2000, and it was West Virginia was up for grabs. So everybody was pushing out people to talk on their behalf. Every day I was getting calls. So Lauren Bacall was coming on to pitch for Al Gore.
Garrison Keillor made fun of your name.
Yeah, I interviewed Garrison Keillor once.
Yeah, Hoppy? Kept saying Hoppy? What is that your name, Hoppy?
Yeah, well, I understand. It's a funny name.
Didn't end well for him. Meanwhile,
well, jeez.
Hello, 3 guys. I am writing from Djibouti, Africa.
What?
Hoppy, here's the answer to your question in the last episode. Tony shares a birthday with several big-name celebs and public figures. Notably, I will say Pink and Bernie Sanders, the most prominent. Also, can we ask the Big 12 to provide the East Africa time zone? Thanks, guys. Beat Pitt. Mark from Africa via Oceania.
Wow.
Wait a second. It gets bigger here. Gets bigger. Let's go to Ireland. Just spent 8 days playing 10 courses on the west coast of Ireland. Stayed in 4 different towns. The courses and beauty of Ireland are indescribably good, but more importantly, Country Roads was played in every single pub.
Of course it was.
One pub in Letterkenny County, Donegal, it was even played twice. Irish folks love this song. And then he sent us a video, but the video doesn't transfer when you send it on that text line. That was inside of Matt Malloy's pub in Westport, County Mayo. Always a West Virginia. That's our buddy Matt. Remember Matt in Tulsa?
Matt travels around. Matt gets a lot of golf in.
Boy, he does.
He does, because I saw him up there at Moundsville. Now all of a sudden he's in
He's
Ireland.
in Ireland playing 10 courses.
In 8 days or whatever, right?
Yeah. Texter. Didn't get this in before episode 573, but I went home with some family to the Virginia Tech Marshall game last Saturday. Had to support the current holder of the Black Diamond Trophy with my hat selection. There he is, just taunting. Charles has a show Friday in Pittsburgh, so maybe some effort he could have had him fitted in. Thanks for having us. Just a thought. Let's go Mountaineers. Matthew from Morgantown via Grafton.
He had when he was at the Three Guys Tailgate, I think he had an efforting shirt on.
He did.
And nobody cares, work harder shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, he did?
Mm-hmm.
He's got efforting too.
He's got our stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody cares, work hard.
Texter, guys, can we expect more Mountaineer munch this year? Our tins need 2024 friends to keep them company. I think we're probably, wouldn't we do that?
I'm sure we'll effort on that, yeah.
Get Homeless Dave on that.
Well, that was our top seller. I'm sure we'd work a deal.
Texter, guys, sorry we did not realize that bringing our friends would be so controversial to an outdoor tailgate, but I figured someone would at least appreciate the photo and the good times these dogs had. There they are.
Dogs were excellent.
So on the far, you got Luca.
Luca far right.
Yeah, Luca's on the far right. And, doggone,
Ted far left.
Theodore. Yeah,
Well,
Theodore on the
Ted
far.
was the one that was granted permission to show up, and then
Right.
everybody else just decided to come.
How beautiful is that husky? How beautiful is that husky?
They were great.
They're all cute.
They were all nice.
Now, the middle guy's the guy that
Ted
stopped
was
being a grass cutter,
Ted
right?
was a nice buddy.
Oh,
That's the guy that was the
Yeah,
grass
Parker
cutter.
and Morgan from Morgantown.
Yeah.
He was an elite grass cutter, too.
what do you mean? What
That's
do you mean?
one
Grass?
of those.
The guy had a great grass cutting business. He used to mow Brad's. The guy was making
What
like
happened?
he's making
Landscaper.
hundreds of thousands of dollars a year,
Went in the portal.
and he went in the portal so he wouldn't have to sit on a mower. Instead, now he sits in a desk and does nothing.
Grass was always greener.
Yeah,
Oh,
bad move.
literally and figuratively.
I should have picked up his list.
Why, you going to mow grass?
That's a good job. Mowing grass is a good job. You don't have to deal with any BS.
I need one because he's gone. Now my mower broke again.
Your
Seriously,
mower broke again?
Our guys are busy racing cars.
What happened to your mower?
I don't know. It won't start again.
dude, you don't think that's a good job? You get yourself a trailer. Get yourself a trailer. Get a Cub Cadet 20 horse Kawasaki engine. You get a Kohler, 0 turn. Get a pair of nice noise canceling headsets. You take that thing off the trailer and you mow lawns. You
didn't mow your lawn
have
for
no
decades.
idea what you're
You
talking
I've
about.
mowed my lawn for years.
You have no idea.
No, I don't
you
have
have
any.
just started mowing your lawn.
Talking to a guy who worked at a golf course every summer mowing lawns, tee boxes, and greens. I know nothing about grass.
Then you went 35 years without mowing your lawn.
Untrue statement.
How long you been married?
36, 8,
Thank you.
9,
How long
50.
when was the last time you mowed your grass?
Last
he's
this week,
picked it back up
Wednesday.
now.
Wednesday.
He's started it now again.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Been
But he
mowing the
did
lawn-
for decades, did not. Don't let it
Untrue
fool you.
statement.
Again, he just spout like,
Just
"Oh, that's a
spouting.
great job."
Yeah.
And how come you can't find anybody to mow your grass if it's such a great job?
I don't want anyone to. I want to mow
No,
my
I'm
own
not
grass.
talking about you. I mean, you can't. It's hard to find people to mow grass.
It's a good job.
That you don't do.
My buddy Jeff Berryman, he got like 200 lawns. He mows like 200 lawns on one tank
Well, I
of
might have
gas.
to call Jeff, see if he needs 201.
So what? I
My
mean,
guy entered the portal.
does it turn over?
I got to talk to my collective. Apparently, they didn't
Yeah.
step up and have
Yeah.
enough money to
Yeah.
keep my guy.
Great motor genius here. Remember the last time he hit a dead battery? Glenn
that-
from
I mean-
Scott Depot.
Okay.
Found this interesting stat on Instagram. Mountaineer fans, we always feel like bad things just happen to us. Notre Dame has seen some bad stuff as well.
Oh,
So I can't read that, but there have been 28 losses by home teams that have been favored by, 16 or more, and Notre Dame has been involved with a bunch. I can't read what it says.
you know what? We had that game on, and that was not fluky.
Lined up.
Lined up, beat him, Brad.
Lined up. Let down spot.
Big letdown.
Three guys. My friends and I had a discussion recently around the best WVU athletes to name a dog after.
Good one.
We came up with Harry West, Dog Nealon, Puppy Wright, Bark Bulger, Kevin Pupsnoggle, Perlo Dog Steen, Javon Barker, and Sam Ruff. What other good ones are we missing? Signed by Scott in the Woodlands, Texas.
Pretty good, Scott.
It is.
Another one from Texas, Joe Mock, our good listener. Hey, gents, On my U-Albany game recap bingo card, I most definitely did not have kangaroo scrotum.
Agree.
You guys are the best.
What'd you do with it? The
It's at
kangaroo.
home. It's at, no, it's upstairs. I don't know where it is.
You have it on your lawnmower?
No, I should put my lawnmower key on that.
Lawnmower key.
Texter, like your 2-biscuit challenge, I was also backed into a corner. My friend challenged me to take a shot every time Narduzzi said, at his latest press conference. I'm currently having my stomach pumped out at the ER 14 times in the first minute. Yikes. ESP, I'm looking forward to meeting all of you at the food court next week. Let's go. Signed by the lawman from Fairmont.
Excellent. See you next week.
Hey, 3 guys. Rod from Augusta. Thanks for the shout out. When talking to Tony at the food court, I mentioned I'd brought a T-shirt to give Brad if I saw him. But I forgot then to bring it Saturday morning. Hearing his affinity toward the Mothman, I thought Brad would appreciate the gesture. And there it is. I'll bring it the next time we attend.
Rod, certainly not necessary, but thank you for the thought. Well documented. I'm the only one that supports the Mothman here.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Healthy respect for the Mothman.
No, I'm in on the Mothman. It's Tony that has perpetuated a falsity about the Mothman. Like he claims to know the Mothman.
Dude, I'll go to my grave on that one.
You
That is
really,
true.
You want to go the mats on that?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, I'll stand up and fight you.
Move along.
I'm not going to someone that's going to run up on a stage and then run away.
Got a call from the athletics director about
that. Was he concerned about you being on the stage with hostile fire? Was he concerned about that?
He was just ran like, oh, I thought you were. I had no idea you were gonna.
I got a wild one here. It's
Okay.
not on your list. And I hope Zach's got these pictures because this is just wild. Hi, Brad, Tony, and Hoppy. Earlier this morning, I saw some panthers here in Kruger National Park, South Africa, take down a warthog in preparation for our game day. I told them, so check out, look at this picture. I told them it won't be enough to defeat the Mountaineers on Saturday. So that's fresh.
Man.
He just sent that today.
Oh, my.
So he's a Mountaineer. He's out on a thing. Now, check those. Now, watch the next one.
Oh, my.
Okay.
The warthog is having a bad day.
Oh.
Yeah. So we have gone in the course of 2 episodes from kangaroo scrotum to a warthog just getting chawed upon.
Well, they brought the blitz on that warthog.
A backside tackle didn't have coverage responsibility.
That running back didn't step in and pick up the blitz.
Bad day to be a warthog.
So he's on safari and he saw a kill. You don't often see a kill.
No, did you see any?
I did not see a kill. No. Incredible.
Go back, Zach, if you would, to the first one.
That's awful close.
Yeah,
Did you get that close?
Zach, go to the first picture. Like,
Not usually.
So why is he not like? Why
What if
is
that
he
thing
not,
launches?
Yeah, I wouldn't be that close. I mean, but
That's a great guy.
he didn't include the next picture where that thing's on his back.
That's the last picture we saw of him.
Wow. See that line wearing a hat, wearing that West Virginia hat.
Yeah. So
Where was this again? Kruger?
Yeah, you were there. Is that where you went?
No, I was. No, I was not at Kruger.
Texter, Will from Connecticut again. I do have concerns about the eye test compared to some of our more successful teams in recent memory. Fumbles, missed assignments, missed opportunities. I saw a stat after 2 games, West Virginia D ranked 113 out of 133. Realistically, what can we expect to see improve as we enter the Big 12? Senator?
Well, I don't know. I didn't see that stat. It's got to get better. There's no question, but early.
Hey, guys. Any thoughts on Coach Brown's press conference this week saying future schedule isn't fixed because Alabama's still there? Any thoughts on being too scared to play Alabama? Do y'all agree with his sentiment in days of us competing with Alabama like we did in the Chick-fil-A kickoff game a few years back, or is this a loser's mentality?
How about this?
Lost Alabama in the Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic.
How about this? You stand at the edge of the cliff and somebody says, What's wrong? You scared to jump? No, I'm just not stupid. And I'm not going to jump off. You don't need. Look, Nick Saban's gone. Don't play Alabama. Seriously. And it's not about being scared. It's about being smart.
Thank you. Delayed in sending this, I missed out on Brad and Tony at the food court, but we got our picture made with the elusive Kercheval in his natural habitat. My mom's his biggest fan and promises to send more peanut butter balls this winter if Tony will share. As always, enjoyed the food. The new beer will be looking forward to more releases. A little hop goes a long way. Hoppy,
yes,
very nice of you there.
Great picture.
That's very terrific.
Yeah, took the baby.
Those peanut butter balls were
awesome.
Yeah, they're really good. Hoppy, you're bringing a strong hat game to these first two food courts.
I know the pressure's
on for week 3. What are you going to do? You got something?
I usually don't. So we'll see. Got the same shirt on right now.
Yeah. We're being called in to help here. Next one. I need a ruling from this stupid podcast on a marital situation. You come to the right place, dog. I'm in. I figure since there's an odd number of you, this is the only reasonable solution. Mrs. Pete recklessly bought tickets in April to see Willie Nelson, John Mellencamp,
passive-aggressive taunt,
and Bob Dylan on the evening of the Backyard Brawl. I've seen all 3 of these fellas several times. While I'm also a fan, I also know that all 3 of them lost their fastball many conference realignments ago.
Does he mean the performers or us?
The performers.
Oh.
His question is, what do I do?
We lost our fastball.
Do we shut up and go, being forced to watch the game Sunday morning, perhaps fake a food poisoning episode, stay home, perhaps give myself actual food poisoning? I love the show, but I need answers. Signed by Pete from Pennsboro.
Dear Pete, I would, first of all, it would seem like that in a healthy relationship, you might have a discussion between spouses before such a big investment is made.
So you're putting it on the wife.
No, I'm just saying I think that it would be healthier to talk those things out before that big decision is made. But look, if it's really important to your wife, then you go. You go. So
you're saying happy wife, happy life. You say go. Brad.
I told you I'm out. I'm not giving somebody marital advice.
Wait, but he's using us for the 3.
That may be. Thanks, Pete. Best of luck.
Tony?
Go to the concert.
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life, dude. Plus, just think of this, dude. I know you've seen each of the 3 before, but golly sakes. Willie Nelson, Mellencamp, and Bob Dylan.
That's historic, too. That's historic. And look, how much longer? Right?
Yeah.
So where are they? Is that like Farm Aid or something?
Look that up, Hoppy. Where are they performing?
Let me check. Maybe drop that ticket on me. I'll go.
Yeah. I want to set myself something. There's a great gentleman that I just got informed who passed away. And he was a fixture in Fairmont.
Hey, it's the... Oh, this is... No, I just got... But look, it's at Star Lake.
Okay.
It's at Star Lake. It's the Outlaw Music Festival, but it's 5:30 to 7:30. So the Pitt game's at 3:30. I mean, you could make most of the show.
Yeah. So I was saying, had a great guy who was centrally involved at Fairmont State for years with JoJo Retton, Farmington native, Mike Arcura. Did you know Mike at all, Brad? Did you ever run into him? Mm-mm. He was the best. He, Farmington born and raised, went to Salem, then went to Fairmont State, coached football in Ohio, came back to West Virginia, and was one of JoJo Retton's assistant coaches. Okay? So this is pretty wild. So our buddy Joe Lambiot sent me these. Hey, Zach, would you put up the first picture? So how about this picture?
Oh, my.
That is Press Maravich.
Wow.
That is obviously Mike in the middle and John Wooden. And Joe said that every summer they would go to Campbell College through the 60s and 70s, and they would work camp. JoJo Retton would work camp. So what's wild about this is when you remember when we played NC State not that long ago, he had 2 grandsons play at NC State. They're now both in the NFL. Drake Thomas plays for the Seahawks. Thayer Thomas,
Oh, yeah.
plays for the Vikings.
Yeah, I remember those
Those
guys.
are Joe's grandsons.
Yeah.
So check this photo out. You hit that next one up there. So this is Pete Maravich with Wooden, Mike, and one of the little campers. He said they would take pictures of all the little campers, and they would say, Joe told me that Pistol Pete and Coach would work stations together. He was a camper, and then they would bus from gym to gym. So during Mike's coaching days at Fairmont, they were 265 and 41.
Pretty good.
Won 8 conference titles, 7 trips to the national tournament, and 5 NAIA All-Americans. One day, Joe Retton got sick with a virus, and Mike took the team over, beat Kansas State. Or Kentucky State, I should say. Beat Kentucky State. And hit that last one. So I remember this day because I spoke at one of their big fundraising events for the departments. That's me. So that's the same day. I catch hell for this all the time. That's the same day that Michael Caridi graduated from college. So I attended commencement.
Yeah.
And then took off.
Spoke, then came back.
Jump back here. And I've always gotten a raised eyebrow about departing to go do that speech, but that was a great night there at Fairmont State. So our condolences go to his family. Mike was truly one of the great ones. Mike Arcura has passed away, and he was 88 years old. 88 years old.
That's a heck of a career.
Those are good pictures.
Is that a lot? And
It
both
is.
of his grandsons currently in the NFL.
How about you roll into Campbell? The Camels.
Campbell College, and you got Press
Camp,
Maravich,
and you got the
Pete
Maraviches and John Wooden.
and John Wooden. Aren't those camps? Weren't those camps
Yes.
as well? Like you remember, Jerry West would come back, and they would do that camp, right? And Gary McPherson,
Gary
Lake
McPherson
Arians would always
centrally
tell us
involved.
Bones McKinney,
Yeah.
right? And all these. It was basketball was different in the summer back then.
Well, they had-
anybody and everybody was around.
Also, they had to make some money,
Yes,
right? It's not like now I'm making $30 million. I don't need a camp.
right. Texter, Rick from Cheat Lake. That's that. Just down the interstate there to get
Yeah,
there.
there's Blue Window pontoon boats out there.
Yeah, I see. They're going to keep that river level or that lake level low.
Keep the lake.
Yeah. I had the opportunity.
Get it back up.
I had the opportunity to attend the concert honoring Don Wilcox recently. The Wind Ensemble played his favorite tunes, and some members of the West Virginia marching band played some of the pregame songs. It was an amazing experience, and I'm sure you guys are aware the marching band is undefeated and has won a national title. I had the honor of marching with the Pride from 1974 through 77. I realize you three guys are busy, don't get to see much of the beloved pregame. Hoppy, I can confirm that next fall, the Pride will have performed the Circle Drill to Simple Gifts for 50 years.
Man.
I was in the Pride when it was performed for the very first time. I hope it's recognized in some way, Hoppy, double question mark. Honor the Circle next year, 50 years.
It's a good.
That was really bad.
I mean, Wilcox was the late Don Wilcox, certainly credited with building that band.
He's the Don Nealon of the band.
Yeah.
He built the foundation,
Yes, he
of
did.
which everyone else built it upon. Yeah. Pat from Wheeling, I was thinking that the food court would be a great venue for Tony to break out his banjo, plop down in an Adirondack chair, and strum a little.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do a little Appalachian music.
Problem is, I play with the banjo. I don't play the banjo. That's the
I
problem.
mean, you can probably strum up a little tune.
I'd
can't
love
you?
to.
Hold on, quick. I got to give a quick shout out.
Yeah.
Told you I made a visit this week.
Oh,
Wait a
that's right.
second.
Oh.
Stop. Hold the phones. Now, did you go to a Go-Mart?
I did. I mean, that's not the unusual part of this, but we like good customer service.
Absolutely.
We love good customer service.
Yes.
Can't find
So
it.
I pulled in to get gas.
Yeah.
Then I thought, you know what? Last few episodes been in here talking about these Reese's.
Oh, you killed
I'll
it?
go in and check it out.
Okay.
Plus Mega Millions was 800.
Oh, you bought a Mega
800 million.
Millions?
So I thought going, but maybe by a little episode, I won't be around for episode 575 if this thing hits. I'm here. So it didn't hit. Went in. I'm being serious here. This was really easy. I walked in and didn't know what I was doing. And just immediately upon walking in, I said, where are the Reese's? Where I need some help
you
here.
just shouted it when
Just
you walked
shouting.
in?
Just walked in shouting. Mark and Michael immediately had two guys behind the counter,
Okay.
handled it. Right here, they were right up front by the counter.
You got pictures? What do you got?
No, I got I got the actual items.
Look at that.
See, look. You buy 2, get 1 free.
Wait a second.
See
How's
the
that work?
footballs?
I thought
Look.
it was a dollar deal or
No,
something.
that was the M&Ms.
Oh,
I'll get those next time.
Bought 2.
Reese Football. Bought 2 king size, got 1 free. They were right there up front. Very easy. Pulled the app out.
You buy 2 of those and you get 1 free.
Yeah. Buy 2, get 1 free.
How many cups
It's in the
there?
app.
3?
Might be 2 big ones.
2
And
big ones.
what type are they?
They're footballs.
Let me see.
Football shapes.
Sucker.
It's not Santa's boot.
It's not Santa's boots.
And you did this off your app?
He might think it's a snowball or something, though.
Yeah.
And you did
and then just did it right off the app, got reward points,
the
the whole
app.
thing. It really, truly was easy.
Look, Hoppy, snowshoes.
So there we go.
What do you mean the
I'd
app?
offer you one, but I know you.
There's a
I know you
Gomart
try to
app.
cut
You
down your
download it
sugar.
on your phone,
Put it on the phone.
and it just gives you all these things. Like as soon as you walk in, they just go like,
See,
Oh, when you
So you
walk
can-
in,
You can see the offers, and I'm going to pay. It's tied into my card.
so you
got it.
walk in, you see the offer when you walk in.
No, I see it right now.
Oh, okay.
I can see the offer
he
now.
looks at it while he's getting
Get
his
2
gas.
for $5 if you want a Mountain Dew or Pepsi right now.
Now you weren't loud when you walked in there, were you?
You
You walked in and yelled.
Listen, there was no sense walking in and spinning around and causing problems, right? When you go in someplace, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you stand at the door and spin around, then everybody else is held up.
Right.
So I didn't want to confuse other customers that were coming in, so I just immediately asked for help. Just walked in,
When
asked
you
for help.
walked in the door and said,
Immediately started asking for help. Where are the Reese's? I see buy 2 get 1 free right here on my phone. Mark and Michael were immediately behind counter, and boom.
Did
So
you
you're
say-
sprang to action.
did you say hello or anything?
No, I did not say hello. I just said I need some help. Was on a mission.
Yeah. So are you saying?
It was really easy.
Are you saying then that it's a good thing to download the app and get the rewards card?
I would.
That's awesome.
Also got a free fountain drink out of the deal.
What now? Free?
Got to use it by the end of September.
It's that's on the app too.
Just appeared on the rewards. Yeah, you check it. I went to the rewards. Oh, look at
It
that.
just appears there?
Just appeared. Got a free bonus drink.
You got it while you were there, or you just got it just now?
After a purchase, I got one.
By the way, I'm stealing this.
So I actually got 2. I bought you one. I didn't buy Kirchhoff one because he doesn't eat sugar.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That
point
was
is,
a good
get the app.
experience. A good
Get the app. It
experience.
was a great experience.
Well done. Good job.
Accruing
Next
fuel
time-
points.
next time
Accruing
just
fuel
say-
points now.
Next time, just say hello, though, when you walk in. Don't just come in and start. Where are the
It was
Reese's?
very nice. We had a nice chat afterwards. I just need some help.
Did they ever listen to the podcast?
We didn't get that far. I was busy with the transaction.
When he walked out, they said, "Who in the hell was that guy?"
Need some gas. Need Reese's.
3 guys.
Now I know how to do it. Now I'll go back in and linger for a while, see what else is in there.
In other words, just get the app.
Let's just
Get the
Hey,
rewards card.
What are you doing? You want to go to Gomart?
Yeah.
Good time.
If you're going to the Pitt game and
those
driving
are
up, you got to get fuel. Get your fuel at Gomart on your way up.
Or just stop, shop.
You could be like one of those things like, don't leave your money in Pennsylvania. Buy your stuff in West Virginia. Figure out your gas that way. 3 guys brought to us by Gomart. Get a Gomart rewards card. Go to Gomart.com for details. Just get off your phone and download it off the app, Gomart app. 3 guys brought to us by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, efficient, 25 years. By Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans, selling family fun, transporting the Mountaineers to the game up the river. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com.
You
I
gotta
thought you were
stop saying
impressed that I didn't need all 4 of those right now.
3 guys brought
when did you get them? Yesterday? Today?
Earlier
a
this
couple days
week.
ago.
And they lasted this long?
I kept them out of sight.
Pretty good.
They usually don't last that long.
3 guys brought to us by Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way. Tudor's Biscuit World. 3 guys also brought to us by the Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. Here at the Orange Bowl with Bob Trumpy, and here come the Nebraska Cornhuskers, led by head coach Tom Osborne, and there he is, Dean Steinkühler. All right, we made enough trouble. Back on Sunday, we'll recap Pitt. See you.